It's 10:09 on the East Coast, 7:09 on the West Coast. You're watching Late Night News from Gokhshtein Media. With the captain himself, David Gokhshtein, I am Joe Cortez, and quite a bit of news to cover tonight, David.
A lot of news, and we actually have somebody right at the scene of blockchain futurists. Okay, I almost said Blockfest, but blockchain futurists out in Toronto, Canada. We shall bring him in. Ross Macdonald. Ross Macdonald, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Live from the hotel room here in Toronto.
What hotel are you at?
We're at a Marriott somewhere
Okay.
downtown.
I think I know what Marriott you're at because that's actually one of my favorite Toronto hotels.
It's like right in between where things get fancy, and then the other side of the road, it's just like destroyed. The city's like on fire on the other side of the street.
Okay, not my favorite. My second favorite Marriott. Then you're at my second favorite Marriott in Toronto. But lots to discuss, lots to talk about tonight. I think our biggest story coming out of Blockchain Futures Conference is Vitalik coming out talking about gas fees in Ethereum and the future of them.
Yeah, he's seeing that come out. He's going to squash all the haters who are saying, no, gas fees are not going to change with Ethereum 2.0 when it docks. And it's like, no, he says absolutely it's going to be cheaper. And that makes sense because when he's talking about prioritizing and having different speeds of transactions, if the price didn't change for gas fees, what would be the point of that? So he didn't promise a date, he didn't promise a docking date, but he strictly put prices up on the screen that said that it's going to be extremely cheap to use Ethereum. And the point was that he went right back to the Bitcoin white paper. Anyone that, I hate to say it, anyone that's a maxi that doesn't like this, he said the Bitcoin white paper came out. It was a peer-to-peer cash system. It's a cryptocurrency. He wants Ethereum to operate like that.
One of the challenges of Ethereum, especially the past year, has been how gas prices have been manipulated, especially when major drops come out. Now, I know he didn't give any specifics on when or how we could see this, but in your opinion, how could this affect major events like, let's say, Yuga Labs coming out with the other side, a major drop for the other side? Where do you see that affecting gas prices moving forward?
Well, I guess, if they're going to have, there's another 100,000 other side land that still needs to be distributed. How's that happening? Is it going to happen on a separate chain, on ApeCoin? Are they going to do it on Ethereum again? If they run it that way and this were to be in place, that's not going to be in place this year from what I can see. It's going to be 2023 or later. But if that was designed well and it was operating well, then you could deprioritize a Ethereum transaction and yet have it finish and complete on a lower gas fee. So in theory, if that's how things are going to work, you wouldn't have a failed transaction. The transaction will be approved, you'd have a lower rate, and things would go through and it would solve a lot of problems.
Ross, let me ask you a question. Do you think this is a game changer for Ethereum and the merge? Do you see it? Well, you know how everybody talks about the flippening? Right now, the conversation has become stronger throughout our space. Do you see this adding more to that? You know what? This might happen.
Yeah, I think so, in a way. So I think from Vitalik's standpoint and from the Ethereum developers, nothing has changed. What it's done, though, is it just squashes the haters who are saying nothing's going to change, it's not going to happen, everyone's negative, because we all know that Vitalik doesn't care about timelines, he just cares about quality. It was funny because some of the other features he brought up, it's all about user experience for him. He was saying, another thing he brought up, he was saying, well, he had an Amazon account and they flagged it because he travels a lot and that he couldn't get the account back. And he said, what if that happens to someone with a crypto wallet? We see that happens. People lose their private keys. It's done. There's no customer service. And he said, all right, what about if we had social multi-sig recovery with Ethereum wallets, which is an incredible idea. So imagine nobody has your private keys except for you, but you assign 5 friends or family members. And if 3 out of the 5 verify that you have said, yeah, I've lost my private keys, they get sent back to you. And it's like a zero knowledge proof. Nobody else gets your private keys. Things like this, it's not that complicated, but pretty fantastic if anyone's ever lost their private keys or ever lost access to a wallet when they're custodial, non-custodial. That would be incredible.
That's listen when when you reported or whoever from G Media went ahead and put that up on our main account, Gokhshtein Media. I saw that. I was like, oh my God, if this happens, this is a game changer. Like, this is a game changer for me personally. Like, you hear all the talks again about the flippening, but that really changes the game. It's, because all the talks are consistently about the gas fees, right? Now you
Yeah.
eliminate the gas fees. Now what? What now? What are we talking about?
It's getting efficient. It starts to turn other cryptocurrencies into dinosaurs. That's what it does, right?
Wow. Wow. Now, would more people want to build on Ethereum, being that, now the gas fees are, become cheaper. So now more people are inclined to go ahead and use a network where people now are leaving to other, platforms because of the gas fees that their users have to face while being built on Ethereum.
Why wouldn't they? As long as it's stable, Ethereum hasn't had downtime like other platforms or other blockchains. If it's stable and they can build on, the gas fees are cheap and it's got these added features, why wouldn't you build on it?
Any other cool stuff that came out of Futurist?
It was really cool because seeing as we're in, a bear market or crypto winter, however short that is, that's what everyone seems to refer to it as. But it's great because someone referred to it at the conference today. One of the gentlemen, Sushant, who was on the panel yesterday that I moderated, he said it's more like crypto spring cleaning. This isn't crypto winter. It's crypto spring cleaning. And what's happening is, all the fluff and all the ridiculous projects, they're not around because they're not able to build in this low market. You have legitimate companies building, you have technology that is being refined, and it's starting to take off again. And I just loved hearing that.
That's cool. That's cool to hear. Joe?
That's incredibly exciting to hear. I think my final question goes back to what Vitalik was talking about earlier. And from your opinion, here after hearing him talk, the question I have is this going to put pressure on other chains? We talk a lot about Binance and BNB chain, and we there's a lot of praise for its efficiency. Is this going to put pressure on BNB and other centralized blockchains to kind of rethink how they do business now that it could be cheaper to do business on Ethereum?
Well, the interesting thing is if all these features are coming out and Ethereum is getting refined, and let's say it leads the way to a place where we do want the industry to go, would people be offended or upset if other blockchains took on these features? A lot of this is open source. Is Vitalik going and getting patents for this? Not as far as I know. Why would he, right? Everyone's using Ethereum, it's open source. So if anything, I would recommend other blockchains look into this stuff and adopt it and try to apply it. Now, they may have to just take a feature and code it their own way. The hackathon that happened there, we had teams of anywhere from like 4 to 6 or 8 people coded things in 24 hours. They're sleeping in the soccer dome there and getting things done. It just goes to show that if you really have, let's say, $1 million idea, you can put in $1 million execution, which is the real value. And there are teams all over the world that can build on Ethereum, build on other blockchains. We see lots of funding on different blockchains now to get this sort of stuff done. This could be a very, very important time period for our industry.
That's awesome. Listen, thank you so much, because I know you've had a busy day. Thank you so much for coming on to the Late Night News to go ahead and give us, some details about what happened down there at Futurist I would say you've been down there for 3 days for the hackathon and 2 days at Futurist. We thank you for taking time out to come on to the program and just letting the whole fan base know, especially about the Vitalik speech, where, seems like he always introduces something new at that event, and his streak is still alive. That streak is alive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're down here with Akil and Carlos and Alex and lots of people that we knew. It was just great to see everybody. Everyone loves in real life events, and we're looking forward to the next one. So, and I'm looking forward to the news, guys. Take it away.
Thank you, Ross. Appreciate you, man.
See ya.
Ross Macdonald live from Blockchain Futurist Conference over in Toronto. David, let's get into the news. What do you say?
Let's go ahead and rock out. Yeah, man, that news about Vitalik and the gas fees, man, that guy, that has me super stoked for the entire industry.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's going to be an absolute game changer for not only Ethereum, but all the other blockchains as well. If we can start managing some of these transactions, even during high traffic periods at low fees, you're going to see a lot more activity. People are going to be excited and interested in getting involved in the metaverse once more, not having to worry about when and if their transaction will go through, number one. And then number two, having to pay more in gas fees due to network activity than the actual mint they're dropping itself.
I think you'll have also more traders start to arrive to the scene, because now they'll be like, okay, I'm not going to hold for a certain profit area, because I need to go ahead and make sure it equals out because of the gas fees. Now, I think, if that were to be the case where, Ethereum switches to 2.0 and the gas fees go to next to zero, now you're going to see people become traders and flip their, and I'm talking about NFTs right now, but flip NFTs and not wait until, the gas fees are down before doing so. And again, it works towards everybody's favor, I guess. But again, I'm stoked on the news.
Absolutely. All ships rise at high tide.
There you go, Joe. Let's get into it.
LFG, as the kids say these days. Another cryptocurrency trading platform is pausing trading, deposit, and withdrawals today, but not for a reason tied to overexposure in the market. Hotbit announced they would suspend exchange operations after one of their former management employees came under criminal investigation. The company says the former employee was involved with an outside project unconnected to Hotbit, which they disavow information of and was against their internal principles. As a result, the authorities have seized some Hotbit funds, and they have subpoenaed several senior employees of the company. With those assets in limbo, the company says they are unable to maintain normal operations and are unsure when they can return. The company says they are cooperating with law enforcement on those subpoenas and that no other employees were involved or had knowledge of the unnamed outside product. We talk a lot in this industry about keep building. This is what we do, keep building. But at some point, building and ethics have to collide somewhere, and it sounds like this is that collision.
Yeah, this is getting ridiculous. Every single night, it seems like we get onto the late night news and we're reporting an exploit, or we're reporting a hack, or reporting something that isn't beneficial or doesn't benefit the entire space. This, another one. Hotbit, not really an exchange that I personally use. I've heard of it, but people do use it. Having news like this come out, having people's funds stuck on an exchange like this, how many times do we have to say it though? Not your keys, not your crypto. But it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way, since we trust these centralized exchanges to go ahead and operate with class and dignity, and instead we have this in exchange. So sucks. It really does. It really does suck. Again, it's another black eye on the industry, but I think we're so numb to all these shots that we've been taking lately, that it's like, okay, what's next?
Well, and the problem is, I don't think we should be complacent with that attitude. One of the tenets of cryptocurrency and decentralized finance is that everyone's able to hold everybody else accountable, whether it be on the blockchain, being able to see all transactions as they happen, or be it through simple smart contracts and multi-sig wallets. Without that accountability, without ourselves keeping everyone else accountable, first and foremost, it creates that negative platform and its slippery slope. And frankly, I do not want to see where that slippery slope leads.
I don't either. Look, I agree with you on all the points. When I say we're just numb to it, I mean every day you wake up, Joe, to news that something.
Absolutely.
Something happened.
Yeah.
The first time it hits you, the second time it hits you, the third time, and then after that it starts. I really feel like you become numb to it. Should they be taking? Should the proper actions be taken against Hotbit? Absolutely, 100%. And whoever the violators are, go after their asses. But, at this point, I'm honestly, Joe, I'm so numb to all this stuff that's happening. I am so happy that we are in the green and the attitude of the community is shifting, that I'm trying to stay on that positive head. Unfortunately, this, again, it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing.
No, absolutely. And, these are the reason why regulators want to start getting involved, because this keeps happening. If you don't want regulation, start policing your own people, start, policing your own blockchain. Charity starts at home.
I agree with that. 100%. We're in agreement.
A new suitor could be waiting in the wings for bankrupt crypto lender Celsius moving forward. In an interview with Reuters, a spokesperson for Ripple Labs said they may be interested in purchasing the assets of Celsius Network. A price tag was not discussed during the interview. The company said that they were, quote, interested in learning about Celsius and its assets and whether any could be relevant to their business. Best known for the XRP coin, Ripple filed paperwork in Celsius' bankruptcy hearing requesting representation in the case. Although they are not a creditor to the lender, the filing suggests the blockchain could very seriously be interested in purchasing Celsius. The move comes as Ripple continues to fight a case against the Securities and Exchange Commission, which filed charges accusing the San Francisco-based company of illegally selling securities. Speaking of being numb and speaking of having odd feelings toward this, very interesting move, and I'm very torn because on one hand, it would be great to see somebody else come to another group's aid, but that being said, at what cost does it come?
I don't even know why Ripple Labs is even entertaining this. Maybe this might come as what is he talking about to the Celsius community, but like I don't understand what assets Celsius could have that can benefit Ripple Labs. I really don't know. Listen, is it okay to go ahead and dabble in and figure out what they might have and if it could be of interest? Okay, that's fine. But I think they should have done this secretly because then you look at people's expectations up. A lot of people on social media don't even like this from Ripple's side. I'm talking about the XRP community. I don't see how it benefits. I really don't see how it benefits Ripple in any facet. They if they wanted to, they can go ahead and create with the money that they have in that organization. They can go ahead and create their own Celsius, and they could probably do it 10 times better. But again, that's just one man's opinion, and I'm not the smartest person in the room.
Well, I think we're all learning about this opportunity, and we're all learning and trying to figure out what this means. From my perspective, it feels like Ripple wants to be able to use some of the things that Celsius has built, particularly in the lending space, without having to reinvent the wheel. They figure they may be able to buy some technologies cheap, but I don't know that this is a wholesale purchase of Celsius. It's an apples to oranges merger, and it doesn't seem to make sense. But I get that they have to have representation in the case so they can try to buy it before it comes out of bankruptcy and the price skyrockets.
I just think that, for me, I'm going to go back to they have such incredible innovators on that staff that if they can literally build a better model of Celsius within 6 months. I truly believe that with the people that, Ripple has, on that staff, like I don't put it past them. Okay, I get it. What you just said, you made a good point though, that the infrastructure is there. Could Ripple take that and make it better? Absolutely. At what cost? If it doesn't cost that much, go for it. But I'm sure it's going to cost a pretty penny. I'm sure it's going to cost them at least in the millions to go ahead and acquire it.
Obviously, they see something there. I think only time will tell if it's a decent investment or if it's just fishing on the wrong pier.
As an XRP bag holder, I hope it's on the wrong pier.
Fair enough. We will see. The crypto winter may be thawing out. We may have evidence that the crypto winter is thawing out as another major institutional investment house is diving back into the digital space. Charles Schwab launched a new exchange-traded fund based around the crypto industry. In a prospectus filed at the end of July 2022, with trading starting last week, the investments firm says their goal of the new fund is to track as closely as possible global exposure to companies that may benefit from the development or utilization of cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin. Holdings in the ETF include MicroStrategy, Riot Blockchain, Coinbase, Silvergate, Robinhood, and NVIDIA. In only 1 week of trading, the fund has gained roughly $2, but according to Morningstar, the annualized returns for that digital asset category is around 20% over 5 years. As somebody who has assets with Schwab, I think this is very interesting and very exciting and offers a good exposure into companies driving the blockchain right now without necessarily diving into each one of those companies. I'm excited that Schwab's getting into this.
Yeah, and it's funny how everybody's getting into this all of a sudden. So like again, it just feeds into. I know. Listen, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but this is ain't no conspiracy. This is flat out. If you look at the timelines, they all make sense. You had a few months. I would say a few months before. No, no, hold on. It was when did UST go out of commission?
That'd have been in March.
So like 15 days before that, you had the investment from Fidelity. I think I forgot. I don't want to say Citadel because I might be wrong on that. But he had Fidelity and the big boys. I think BlackRock invest into USDC, and then all of a sudden UST 10 to 14 or 15 days later, went ahead and crashed. And then
Yeah.
slowly you hear these names coming in, and now BlackRock with Coinbase, and now Schwab. I mean, like, I'm telling you, these guys know how to play the game. You're not listening, you're not watching. They know how to play this game. We are, as smart as you think you are, we are goldfish to these sharks.
It very much feels like a buy low, sell high opportunity, especially as crypto kind of thaws out from the winter and we start getting into a bull, what could be a bull run in the coming months. And their exposure to these companies is very fascinating. Half of the portfolio, again, MicroStrategy, Riot Blockchain, Coinbase, Nvidia, all make sense. Silvergate, Robinhood. I'm not exactly sure I want my money in those companies, but the fact is that they're getting involved in it. They're putting more money into it and they're putting assets into it because they feel like this is a growth opportunity. Investment houses don't create ETFs for fun. They create ETFs to drive investors' money forward. And just seeing this all come all together, it's a great sign for the industry and it's a great sign for where crypto is going.
I'd be clapping because I think these institutions know exactly what they're doing. And on Robinhood, when you were mentioning Robinhood just now, and I would say that I think potentially Sam will probably buy that off sometime in the near future. So put a smile on your face. You'll be all good there.
You heard it here first. This is the second time we've talked about it. Sam could buy it. Hey, and Sam, if you're watching, we'd love to have you on the show. Sam and CZ, open invite anytime.
Anytime.
The World Economic Forum is throwing their support behind cryptocurrency mining, possibly as a catalyst for renewable energy. In a new report from the research organization, they hypothesize that new mining operations near power sources could create demand for more clean and renewable energy, especially in developing nations. One example comes from Digital Power Optimization, which runs 400 of their mining computers based on hydroelectric power from Wisconsin. Based on that, the group says there are many remote geographic areas where energy demand is not yet large enough to create utility-scale renewable energy generators, but cryptocurrency in those markets could change that. Other ideas include taking crypto to the moon, literally, using space-based solar power. For once, it's nice to get a story that talks about how crypto mining can create good and can be a catalyst for good. And I think there's something to be said for this idea that an energy intensive operation can create demand for clean energy.
I never thought of mining as being dirty. I think that narrative was just pressed by people that just don't like Bitcoin. And then obviously, Warren and the rest of Congress who don't know much about cryptocurrency in general, took aim at that. Meanwhile, they were coming off a G5 jet. So, it's nice to hear that we could potentially be mining on the moon. That's some crazy stuff. But honestly, we'll touch on this one day. But we don't talk about the economy in space, right? What is the economy going to look like in space? We'll touch up on that one day because it definitely might not be Bitcoin, might be something else.
That is a conversation for another day, maybe on the breakdown. We'll see, because I do have some very specific thoughts about this as well. But that being said, all energy right now it's a very touchy topic because all energy, to some extent, way, shape, or form, is a little bit dirty. If we're not burning coal, if we're not burning natural gas, we're using electric cars, which have those giant batteries that are very hard to recycle and have a very, very short lifespan comparatively. So all energy right today is a little bit dirty. We can't get away from it. But the idea that cryptocurrency can force us to rethink how we use those and rethink how we create demand for cleaner energy options, for more solar, for more hydroelectricity. I think it's great. It's great to see that that is an option, and and if that's a great thing that comes out of creating opportunities to build wealth altogether, I mean, it's a win-win for everybody.
I agree with you 100%. But there's one thing about this whole energy thing and topic, which is annoying. It's like, okay, wasted energy, but you're using an iPhone, you're using a computer, you're using lights. Like, there's a bunch of things that are happening, and there's a bunch of other things that are using up more energy than, let's say, Bitcoin mining. And I can listen. I'll say this. Maybe I'll get hunted down, but cows create more pollution. Okay, cows create more pollution than Bitcoin mining. But I get where you're going with it. It's we're moving in a step in the right direction here. And again, innovation takes time, right? It's not snap of the fingers. And I like the story, and I like where it's heading. But I just wanted to say that piece about Bitcoin mining. I think it gets a bad narrative, and I'm here to kind of like put the brakes on that and fix it.
Progress is a slow process, no matter how you cut it. Finally, which country has the most interest in cryptocurrency, David? What do you think?
Which country has the most interesting cryptocurrency?
Based on Google search terms, based on Google search trends, which country do you think has the most interest in cryptocurrency?
I'm going to say it has to be a Latin American country.
The answer. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I want you to finish.
I will go with. All right, I'm gonna go with. You know what? I'm gonna just throw this one out. Mexico.
Viva la raza. Respect that.
Okay.
But unfortunately, the answer I think is going to surprise you. A new study from industry tracker CoinGecko shows Nigeria searched for the most information about cryptocurrency since the market drop began in April of this year. Other countries in that top 5, respectively, include the United Arab Emirates in number 2, Singapore in 3rd, Australia in 4th, and the United Kingdom in 5th. Canada ranks.
I couldn't get Mexico in there.
Mexico was not even in the top 15.
Damn it. Okay, go ahead. Sorry for interrupting.
Canada ranked 6th overall in search volume, while the searches from the United States ranked 12th overall, lower than Lebanon, New Zealand, and even Pakistan. The group conducted the survey by measuring Google Trends for 6 search terms, including buy crypto and invest in crypto. Researchers say the information also shows which countries are most interested in buying the current dip, along with which ones are taking action. For instance, the Nigerian Stock Exchange previously announced they want to launch a blockchain-enabled platform to set trades by 2023. Nigeria. It makes sense.
You know what? It doesn't really surprise me, though. Like, even though I said Mexico, it doesn't really surprise me that Nigeria is in, because as we talk about on the breakdown every single morning, like when we try to point out, who's actually using Bitcoin, because in the United States of America, I don't believe, for the most part, anybody's really using their Bitcoin. People are more so hodling it, and I always bring up Nigeria as one place that that I've heard of, and I had plenty of DMs and conversations with people from Nigeria stating that they use Bitcoin in order to go ahead and perform transactions. So I'm not really surprised. And I wouldn't be surprised if they used Bitcoin to go ahead and fix their monetary system.
I think this would certainly be an interesting experiment, and it could possibly go further than El Salvador has in using Bitcoin as a national monetary system. what I think I'm more interested in too is are the other two countries in the top three, the UAE and Singapore. Dubai really wants to establish itself as a crypto headquarters, a crypto center for the world, while Singapore already has some leadership in it with Crypto.com and others. So not surprising, no, but it's interesting to see where the crypto hubs are being built around the world.
I think Dubai is not surprising either, because Dubai just, I feel like they're their own little planet. It's like they have this bubble around their entire country that they have over there, and I wouldn't be surprised if they made their own cryptocurrency. I wouldn't be surprised if they got rid of the petrodollar and everything and just had their own cryptocurrency at play. And Singapore, man, they've been, like you said, they've been ahead of the game. They've passed regulations calling, for the most part, every single cryptocurrency a commodity. So a lot of countries are ahead of the game. A lot of countries are trying to adopt cryptocurrency. There's one country, though, I'm really rooting for, and I hope, and it's mine, the United States of America. I hope that we finally go ahead and start accepting this technology and using it towards our benefit.
I thought for a minute there you were going to say Mexico again.
Well, some people say that I do look Latin, so I could say Mexico.
Yeah, but with a name like Gokhshtein, I do not see you
I can't get away with that.
as one of my long lost tribe brothers, the long tribe of Mexico.
Oh man, no. Shout outs to Mexico, man. Shout outs to Mexico.
Shout out to Mexico.
I got some good people over there. Shout out.
Viva la raza. David, what do we got coming up on the breakdown tomorrow?
The breakdown, we will get back to. We have some new segments now. We have, even though Haley does traffic and weather, she came up with a really cool thing. Self-assessment of whether you are a Bitcoin maxi or not. It's a really cool graphic. I think people should go ahead and check out Haley Davis. Look her up on Twitter. You'll find it. Really cool tweet of her breaking down stuff and this kind of like a guide of where you stand in this space. We also have Anthony, who is a phenomenal TA guy, who has his own little 10 to 15 minutes of breaking down everything in the crypto space in terms of the market, where it's going, where he sees it's going. And so far, he's been on point. Check those recordings. You will understand when I say he's been on point. And then we have also a regulatory segment with the People's Council, which breaks down just regulatory questions for us and gives us answers on some questions that people have within the room. And yeah, we'll be talking about the markets. We'll be updating stuff on the markets. We'll be obviously talking about crypto news, some of this stuff that we mentioned tonight. And for 2 hours, we'll have fun and enjoy ourselves. Non-toxic talks with mature people. Make sure you tune in 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
That is on the Gokhshtein Media Twitter space, so check it out on Twitter. It's a safe space for all things crypto.
Gokhshtein Unfiltered came out at 5 p.m. today. You
That's
can go
right.
check that out. It's on YouTube. It's on Twitter. It's on Apple, Google, and all your favorite streaming services. I had the privilege to speak with JF, who is the founder of NFT. The account itself from Twitter and on the Instagram side. We talked about NFTs, Web3. We even talked about Bitcoin. So for those that are interested in his story, tune into Gokhshtein Unfiltered. It is out now.
For the news for David Gokhshtein, I am Joe Cortez. Thank you for joining us. As our friend Akil says, have a great tonight and a better tomorrow. You've been watching Late Night News on Gokhshtein Media, the people's choice for Web3 news.